Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at the 2023 Mac Mini and I wanted to do a review in the 2024. I've been using this Mac Mini since the day it came out, so it's been over a year now and I wanted to give you my honest review and experience using this for the past year. So let's start with the design first. As you guys see it's right here. I would have pulled that out, but I have a lot of stuff plugged in. And also because this Mac Mini looks pretty much the same as all the other ones. I do have the 2014 edition and it literally looks the same. The only difference is what's on the back of it. Now the Mac Mini does come with two different versions. It comes with the M2 chip and the M2 Pro chip. Now for the M2 version, it comes with the Internet port, two Thunderbolt 4 USB-Cs, HDMI, two USB Type-A, 3.5mm headphone jack, and of course the power plug. Now the version with the M2 Pro CPU comes with four Thunderbolt 4 ports. Now the Thunderbolt 4 is also known as USB-C, but it is faster. Now as you guys can see here, I have it connected to the Samsung 32-inch monitor, and the connection I ended up using is USB-C to USB-C, and it works perfectly. Before I had it HDMI to HDMI, but then I wanted to open up two HDMI ports on the monitor for my Xbox and PS5. So now I have Xbox, PS5, and the Mac Mini connected to the same monitor. It just makes it so much easier. It works perfect. It does have that 60 Hz refresh rate. Now, since I'm talking about displays, let's talk about how many displays this Mac Mini can support. Now, again, there's going to be a difference. Now, M2 can support up to two displays. One display with up to 6K resolution at 60 Hz over the Thunderbolt, and one display with up to 5K resolution at 60 Hz over the other Thunderbolt, or 4K resolution at 60 Hz over the HDMI. Now the one with the M2 Pro chip supports up to three displays, two displays with up to 6K resolution at 60 Hz over Thunderbolt, and one display with up to 4K resolution at 60 Hz over the HDMI. Now let's talk about a little bit about the RAM and storage because that's important as well. Now I'm just going to concentrate on the M2 version, the one I have, because the M2 Pro version comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, which is plenty. Now the regular M2 chip comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of RAM, or 24. Once you do end up getting it, you can't upgrade the RAM or the storage. So whatever you get, you're stuck with that. I decided to go with 16 gigabyte of RAM, 256 gigabyte of storage. Now, after a year, how happy I am with that. 16 gigabytes of RAM, I'm super happy. This computer crushes everything. Gaming, multitasking. I have three browsers open at the same time. I can play Spotify. I can do so many things at once. I never have any issues with the performance of this Mac Mini. So the CPU, RAM, amazing. Now I decided to go with 256 gigabytes of storage, and since I do end up recording a lot of videos, doing a lot of reviews and stuff like that, I keep running out of space, and I do have the external 1 terabyte SSD here, and I keep transferring stuff to it, and if I knew what I knew now, I probably would have gotten 512 or the 1 terabyte. But 256, if you don't plan on putting a lot of heavy files like what I'm doing, like 4K videos, a lot of 1080p videos, 256 is plenty. But again, it really depends on your lifestyle and what you plan on doing it. If you plan on editing music, editing videos and stuff like that, definitely get more storage. Now, when it comes between 8 gigabytes of RAM or the 16 gigabytes of RAM, I did have the 2020 version of the MacBook Air with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, if you're doing basic stuff, watching YouTube, browsing, emails, stuff like that, even a little bit of arcade games, 8 gigabytes of RAM should be enough. But if you're like me who edits 4K videos and stuff like that, I definitely recommend getting 16 gigabytes of RAM. Also, 16 gigabytes of RAM will be more future-proof. But again, if you're doing simple stuff, 8 gigabytes is enough. Next, let's talk about the networking, because I do feel like on the Mac Mini, there's one option that's really amazing, which is the Wi-Fi 6E. So for example, a lot of the items like phones, computers, TVs, and stuff like that usually works on the Wi-Fi 5.4 gigahertz channel. And the Wi-Fi 6E adds a new channel, meaning there's no interruptions. And also it has support for the Bluetooth 5.2. Next, let's talk about one of my favorite things, which is the operating system. Now, out of the box, this does come with the Monterey, but now it does have Sonoma, if I'm saying it right, which is the new operating system. Every year, the Apple does refresh the operating system. I've had Macs probably since 2000. I would say probably since 2010, 2011. I've been using my other Mac Mini since 2014. Last year, I finally decided to upgrade. The only reason I decided to upgrade is because I'm doing a lot of 4K editing and stuff like that. And that 2014 version really couldn't support any 4K editing. It was just too slow and just couldn't handle it anymore. The M2 chip is probably 50 times faster than that i5 CPU that I had on the 2014 Mac. Now, the reason I mentioned that because the Apple does have the new OS every single year, and every single year I see so many more improvements. The operating system on the Mac OS is getting better every single year. They always add a few different things, some really good options, and that's something that I love about the Mac OS. Now, you can think of it basically as Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and so on, so on, so on. I'm not that familiar with the Windows, but I knew when I was using Windows, it used to have always a lot of problems, always a lot of glitching, and we have to restart it, freezing ads and stuff like that. So once you switch to the Mac OS, you can say goodbye to all of that. Mac OS is simple, it works perfect, it's very fast, and it gives you everything you will need. Now let's talk about those apps a little bit. Just the apps that do come with it. So you have the App Store, of course, Safari, which is the browser, but you can end up getting, like me, you can end up getting Google Chrome or the Firefox or all three or many more. There's a few other browsers you can end up getting. Then you have the Mail, where you can add every single email. So you can do Gmail, iCloud, Hotmail, Yahoo. You can add all of that into one mail program, which is quite amazing. Then, of course, you have the contact. So if you do have an iPhone, you can end up making real calls from the Mac Mini. You can do messages, FaceTime, and so on and so on. For the FaceTime, you will need to get a camera. Then you have other apps like calendar, reminders, basically same apps that your iPhone does have. Then, of course, you have the photo booth that comes with the Mac OS standard. Again, you will need to get a camera for that one. Then you have Apple TV, podcast, music. And it also comes with few apps that I love using, like for example iMovie. Been using iMovie for the last 4 years. That's my main program that I use to edit all my videos. I love using it. It's one of those programs, if it disappears, I'm gonna be extremely sad. So I'm definitely glad that it does come with the iMovie, and out of the box you will be getting that app. And there's a few other apps here. You can definitely read through it. Also supports, of course, it supports Siri as well. Then there's few apps that I decided to get myself, and there's some utility apps here. So if you guys want to check those out. Been using this computer for the last year, and so far it's been pleasurable experience, zero issues, and I love using it, and I would strongly recommend that. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.